Welcome to the Via Stoica Podcast. These are the Stoic Quote series, where we're looking into Stoic quotes. We're going to interpret them, we see how to put them into practice and what they meant for me in life and maybe for you as well. We have done the first one with Epictetus, Handbook 8, but now we're going to go over to Marcus Aurelius. I'm going to read it from the Gregory Hayes translation. There are more translations out there which we'll look at as well, see what they meant and how they meant it a little bit different, how they use different words, and see if we can add a little bit extra out of it. But this one is fairly simple. It meant a lot to me personally. It's a great reminder and I won't leave you waiting anymore. It goes like this: to stand up straight, not straightened. This is a concept or an idea that comes back to Marcus Aurelius in his meditations many times. Even in book 7.12, we can see something pretty similar. He says, stand, not straightened, or stand straight, not straightened, right? And he has other points in his meditations where he comes back to this concept of self-reliance. If we want to have that peaceful life, if we want to have this smooth sailing, as we saw in the first quote by Epictetus, if we want to have that smooth life, we need to be able to rely on ourselves. And we can go to the Robin Waterfield translation, where he adds a little bit. That is really interesting, right? And in this Gregory Hayes, it has a little heading that says how to act, right? And before it says like cheerfulness without requiring other people's help or serenity supplied by others. In other words, you must stand straight, not straightened, right? He adds something really interesting, a word that I really like. He says, it's a man's duty to stand upright, self-supporting, not supported, right? This is a duty that we have in life. It's your duty to stand straight and not held straight, right? So there's a lot of misconceptions in Stoicism, and one of these criticisms that they have is that it's very selfish, right? And this quote doesn't really help to debunk that, because it is really focused on the self. We have to be able to rely on ourselves. If we want to live a good life, if we want to have this peaceful existence, we need to be able to rely on ourselves. And this is really what this quote means. Whenever I read it, I stand up straight. I look at life a little bit different, but I also know that if I want to make my life the way that I want to make it, right? From the Stoics' point of view, we're not thinking about our success, our career, all of those things. No, I want to make it a good life, right? What does that mean? Peaceful, calm. That's the real goal that we should be working on. We've been fed too many different ways of looking at what real life should be. And if we pursue those goals, again, money, status, fame, those are all beholden to external powers, right? Because they can be taken away in an instant. Money can be taken away quickly. Fame can be taken away quickly. Possessions, the family that you're building can all be gone in an instant. And if that is our only source for a good life, then we are putting all that pressure into others, into something else, right? That's what Waterfield said, to be joyful within and in need of no external assistance or peace provided by others. We shouldn't rely on others to provide us with the peace that we need to live the good life. That should all come from within, from ourselves. And if we do that, if we become this beacon of peace from within, then we can become that for other people as well. We can change people's mindsets to pursue those things that they think that they should be doing or should be going after. That's not the real case of life. That's not the objective. The Stoics have realized that if you want to live the good life, peace is what you need. Calm life. And then you can deal with whatever that comes your way. If you are self-reliant, if you can rely on yourself for everything that happens, right? We need confidence for that. We need to remind ourselves that we have all the tools to deal with whatever comes our way, whatever we face. And that is really key in this concept, right? With this quote, to stand up straight and not straightened, right? What does that mean, to stand up straight? That means that we act virtuous in any situation. We have courage, right? Whenever things get difficult, but we know it's the right thing to do and it's difficult, we still act in it. We still do that because we know it's the right thing to do. That's why we need courage, right? We apply wisdom to the situation, to our impressions. We try to find the truth and not just follow whatever opinion, whatever thing that we see in the news and follow that blindly. No, we ask ourselves these questions, and sometimes we even withhold that judgment to say, I don't know what's happening here. Sometimes we need to just turn a blind eye. We need to say, okay, this is not really relevant for me. Let me focus on what I really need to focus on, and let me do that to the best of my capabilities instead of being distracted by anything else. So we need to use that wisdom. We need to use our experiences in the right way to help us live well. We need to be just, to be fair to ourselves, to be fair to others. If we can only be fair to others if we are fair to ourselves, right? That's that interconnectedness that we have. We can look at those circles, those related circles. But if this core, if this foundation isn't solid, then everything else will crumble. So this self-reliance is such a key aspect in Stoicism. And a lot of the times people who feel lonely, who are looking for a relationship with someone else, the family life or whatever kind of external forces you need to feel happy, that's not going to be sufficient because they can fall away. And if they do, then you're going to be broken. Then you're going to fall backwards into life and you will find that peace is being disturbed in such a way that you can't really get it back. That's why we need that inner fortitude. That's why we need that self-reliance. And once we have that base ready, once we stand straight, strong within ourselves, within our mindset, then people can rely on us. Then people can come to us as a beacon, as an example. We don't have to chase those things that we think we should because society tells us. No, look at yourself. What kind of life do you want to live? What are your values? What are your priorities? That's what really matters. And that's where we've got to start. We've got to look at quotes like these to set ourselves a reminder, right? To stand up straight, but also to stand up straight when faced with whatever happens to us. That if we want to make something happen, if we want to pursue a certain course of life, do it ourselves. Don't wait for other things to happen or for other people to help you or get started. If you want to start a project because you really care about it, such as something like this with Via Stoica, we started it because we cared about it, because we want to help people. No one else was going to do it, so we had to go and do it. We had to be self-reliant to start. If you want to do something, go out and do it. That's what really matters. Go out and do it. No one else will do it for you. And that's the thing. We live our lives by ourselves. Yes, we do have people around us, but no one can really get into our heads and know what's going on with ourselves, with us, how we think, how we view the world. We've got to change that. We've got to adapt it. We've got to get a more positive outlook if we want to have that peace, if we want to have that calm, right? Go listen to that first episode of the Stoic Quotes with Epictetus. Then listen to this one. And the following week, we talk about Seneca. All these are so interconnected and they all help us live better lives. So as we start to wrap this up, my personal experience with this has been a tremendous one. As I said, physically, but also just mentally. And knowing that if I want to do something, I've got to do it myself. I've always been in the situation where I've waited for things to happen. I said, if this happens, I'm going to be happy. If this happens, then I can do this. Instead of, no, let me make this happen. Or let me do what I can do right now instead of waiting, instead of putting my life on pause. That's what we should try to avoid. We should live right now instead of waiting for all the stars to align for us to be happy. That's not going to happen. Something is going to be missing. There's always something. Unless we start looking from it within. Unless we start to stand up straight. And not rely on other forces, on other externals for us to give us peace. Anyway, this was a quote from Marcus Aurelius. If you have some comments, if you have some things that you want to share your thoughts on this, please feel free to do so in the comments. Also, subscribe and rate the podcast. We have some longer episodes coming out every Tuesday with interviews. Check those out. We have the website where you can find more than hundreds of quotes by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, Cicero, all been used in our posts, blog posts. You can go and find them. You can just simply Google Via Stoica Marcus Aurelius quotes or Via Stoica Epictetus quotes or Seneca quotes, and you will find those lists for you to be used with the full reference and to be able to find them back in your books that you're reading, because maybe you're reading a different edition or different translation. You can also book a free consultation on the website if you need some help on applying these things, or just to have a chat with us to see how we can help, or maybe what your path on the Stoic journey could be, right? But these quotes are helpful, a great reminder when you need them. So check them out. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.